I'll take some questions.
The Rhode Island truck ban is still in effect.
The Rhode Island truck ban is still in effect.
Causing more trucks to come through Connecticut, leaving Boston and going to New York?
There is no ban in Boston or in Massachusetts at this time, and we're not experiencing problems, but we are obviously monitoring that situation. We have communicated and are in communication with our partners in Rhode Island.
Governor, Keith McGilvery from Fox 61. I know you said you anticipate fewer power outages this go round. The last storm, we saw tens of thousands of people in the dark, a lot of them pretty darn frustrated with how long it took to get back to normal. Do you anticipate anything being done differently this go around?
Well, actually, I have to say that, well, first of all, there were about 160,000 outages in the last storm, and given the scope of that storm and the amount of outages experienced, additionally impacted by outages in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, since we share some of the same assets, I think the utilities did a pretty outstanding job in recovery. I do think the towns and the utilities continue to learn lessons each one of these storms. People love their trees in Connecticut. They have long ago forgotten that they are a renewable resource. And if you're going to keep trees with limbs over power lines, you're going to lose power in storms with heavy snow or winds above 50 miles an hour. That's just a reality. It is also, I think we've also learned that many people in the state have secured alternative energy sources for emergencies, and I suspect after this particular winter, more people will do the same.
You said that you anticipate that the impact would be moderate for the afternoon?
For the afternoon, based on the number, that's based on a series of calculations, not the least of which is the number of companies and governmental agencies that have closed operations today. So the combination of closures, therefore low volume, probably means it would be moderate. Having said that, I will point out that the temperatures appear to be dropping, which is a little bit different than yesterday's original forecast, where they were forecast to remain above freezing throughout the day. They're now forecast in much of the state to be below freezing this afternoon, which means that slush or a coating of water can turn to ice in a matter of 15 or 20 minutes, and we could face that challenge. And that's the challenge that we're preparing for.
Governor, how is DOT responding to this storm so far?
Pretty exceptionally, I think. I have a series of monitors that I can check major sites, including some of our most troubled sites, and things seem to be going pretty well. Just saw a series of trucks clearing additional laneage and the like. So I think the roads are in good shape, but we're concerned about a drop in temperature and what that could mean fairly quickly. You get down to 29 degrees, 28 degrees, and that's forecast in parts of our state. Things freeze up pretty quickly.
Do you have numbers on the costs of the prior storms and concerns about continue to have this quote-unquote March Madness of how, from a fiscal perspective, this is affecting things?
Well, the exact number is a lot. And we don't have that. Obviously, we're in the midst of yet another storm. There's no doubt that these three storms have impacted our expectations with respect to the amounts of money that we would pay for things like overtime and clearing roads and the like, which is where we spend a lot of our money. And we have had a large number of freeze-overs, so the trucks have been out quite a bit this year. There's no doubt that we will exceed the amounts that we had budgeted, because this will be a year that we've had more of these incidences, but the exact amount we don't know, and quite frankly, that doesn't affect our spending on trying to keep people safe. So we will continue to expend the amounts of money necessary to do the best job we can, given whatever the circumstances are.
As you mentioned, the state government essentially shut down, and the city essentially shut down.
And a large number of our biggest employers, at least in the greater Hartford area.
Also, no traffic, but it also doesn't seem like there's much slush on the road here in the central capital region. What areas are they telling you are going to be really bad?
Elevations. So Avon Mountain, for instance, could be a particular problem. Any elevation of any amount. So you get up about 500 feet above sea level, then that's where you'll start to see. And obviously, we have a good part of our state is above 500 feet. So that's what we're talking about.
Governor, any advice for school superintendents who may have to make a decision about school tomorrow?
I think this will be a quick recovery, and we know that a number of school systems continued to cancel school last week, in part because there were 160,000 outages. So teachers and teacher preparation, as well as the ability to open schools if their power sources were out, contributed to that longer delay in reopening. It doesn't look like this storm will lead to that. If it does, and where we're seeing the bulk of the 1,800 outages that we so far have experienced, it's in the eastern portion of the state, but very scattered. So I think, looking at the forecast, we should be able to open with a delay, but that'll be up to the individual towns. Okay.
Understanding that it's still relatively early in this storm, what kind of picture are you getting when it comes to safety on the road and accidents out there? Anything just yet?
Actually, accidents are relatively low, about 26 accidents as of about a half hour ago, 1 injury, 2 rollovers, which probably reflect people being insufficiently cautious. So you get up ahead of steam, you hit a patch of ice or slush, and that leads to a rollover. So the 2 rollovers were the most significant of the 26. One of those did lead to an injury. People just need to slow down. Okay? All right?
Is that a new sweater?
Yeah, it was a Christmas gift from my wife. Yeah, so, I like this one. Any other questions? Okay.
Give your wife any brownies on the way?
If my wife is watching, I'd prefer cupcakes today. All right? With devil's food with vanilla frosting is what I'm hoping for sometime today.
Speaking with us again.
We'll play it by ear. We'll let you know if this largely passes the bulk of the state, with the exception of the eastern portion of the state, by 6 o'clock. We may not need to get together if it lingers longer. There is these bands of heavy snow that are coming off the water, so we really have to keep an eye on that. So we'll let you know. Okay? Great. Thank you all very much. Thank you.